Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. I have to be honest, I like stories like this. The standard bearer of news, the trusted source in network news, CNN, has been caught doing fake news. What do you know? What do you know? CNN has been caught doing fake news. Here's the dirty little secret. CNN does fake news every night. They call it real news, but it's fake news because they pretend with this veneer, this polished veneer of sorts, this polished people who get up there and say ridiculous things that those people should know is not true if they knew anything about the news, and yet they pretend as if the government of the United States is run for the people and not for the people who pay them. Politics through any other lens makes no sense. CNN has to know this. CNN either hires people who are just completely oblivious, like Chuck Todd, or they're lying. I don't know which one it is. What I do know is they've been caught doing overt fake news, and some of their journalists have resigned. Fake news. Trump tweets glee as 3 CNN journalists resign over Russia story. Yes, the Russia story is bogus. I'm sorry. Whether or not Russia did anything to the elections, I don't know. I gotta be honest, I don't even care. Honestly, I don't. We do very nasty things to other people in other countries. But the question becomes, did Trump have anything to do with Russia in that sense? There's no evidence. There is zero evidence for that. They're a special prosecutor for what? Based on what? It's one of those things where it's like like a cop says, I'm locking you up for resisting arrest. What was the arrest for? What was the arrest? What was the original arrest? What was the original charge that you were locking me up for? That's what this feels like. We think Russia did something. The DNC wouldn't even give the FBI their servers, but okay, we'll go with it. We think Russia did something, and we also think Trump worked with them to do it. Okay, what's your evidence for that? We don't have any evidence for that. We just fully believe it. So we're going to get a special prosecutor to investigate it. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But you can't take the extra step and just make shit up on top of that. CNN, the most trusted name in news. I don't know if that's their logo, but for the most part, that's their veneer. Trump derides network phony stories after 3 quit over piece of supposed investigation into meeting between associates and Russian inventor. They were making shit up. They got caught. Trump was laughing at him. He should be laughing at him. He should be laughing at him. I hope he's eating corn chips and laughing at these guys. I despise network news. I despise it. When Trump was launching those bombs into those countries, that Syrian government, that thing after the Syrian thing, that supposedly Syria did it. But nobody actually even waited to figure out who the fuck actually did it. Network news falls in line. I am glorified by the beauty of our bombs as they go and murder people. You're acting as if that bomb that's being launched off that looks so beautiful and pretty is going to stay beautiful and pretty. No, it's going to get blood on it. A lot of it. I don't like network news. I don't like network news. They keep up a myth and a lie that confuses people and lies to people in their homes. What those people do when they vote does not really affect the policy because it's status quo. But the news doesn't look at that. The news doesn't pay attention to that. The news gives these people this veneer of, this is politics. This is the spectrum. This is what these people are arguing over. What they're arguing over has nothing to do with their ethics, their morality, their morals, the political apparatus. It's not about the people themselves. It's purely about who's paying them. I have a hard time believing that they don't know that. Honestly, I have a hard time believing they don't know it, which makes me despise network news. CNN on Monday accepted the resignations of 3 journalists involved in the story about a supposed investigation into a pre-inaugural meeting between an associate of Donald Trump and head of a Russian investment fund. On Tuesday, 6:30 ET, Eastern Time, Trump tweeted in response, "Wow, CNN had to do a retract big story on Russia with 3 employees forced to resign. What about all the other phony stories they do? Fake news. The president, oh, how embarrassing. The president then retweeted a tweet from a clickbait and fake news debunker featuring CNN logo altered to read FNN, Fake News Network. That's actually pretty funny. Using later stories in the plural without citing examples, he added, fake news, CNN is looking at big management changes now that they got caught falsely pushing their phony Russian stories. Ratings way down. The president then broadcasted his attacks. So they caught fake news, CNN cold. But what about NBC, CBS, and ABC? What about failing New York Times and Washington Post? They are all fake news. The CNN story in question was posted on the network's website on Thursday and was removed, with all links disabled on Friday night. CNN immediately apologized to Anthony Scalappi, I can only pronounce it, the Trump transition team member who was reported to be involved in the meeting. Oh, that's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. You're a news network. You're a news network. Donald Trump has been screaming at the top of his lungs that all of these networks are out to get him because to some degree, all of you are. Pushing this Russian story as if there's nothing else that exists. And they're pushing this Russian narrative. You gave him the awesome political apparatus, the political weapon of pushing a fake story. That's an amazing fuck up. Yeah, good job on that one. Following the retraction, Smalley tweeted that CNN did the right thing. Classy move. Apology accepted. Everyone makes mistakes. Moving on. Shortly after the president's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., tweeted, ha 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 ha, CNN has standards? More fake news defaming my friend Scarlett Markey. And taking the story down, CNN said it did not meet its editorial standards. What, making shit up? Yeah, that doesn't really usually meet editorial standards. The episode is a damaging blow for a network that Trump has frequently derided as fake news. The story never made it to CNN's television news sites. It doesn't matter. You're a news site. You just call yourself News Network. News is your thing. And you put out a story that was fake, attacking the president on a Russian narrative. A Russian narrative that I still say is fake until I see actual evidence linking the two things together. But you go with it. You ran with it. You're running in the daisies. And one of your guys go too far. And he catches you with it. And he laughs at you. And he should laugh. He should laugh. I would make the argument that the majority of the stories that these guys put out is fake purely because they take these perspectives. It's like you do a story. And the perspective that you take on the story gives a certain connotation to the people who are looking at that story. What is the lens that you use to look at a story? If you're looking at a political apparatus and that political apparatus is broken, there's nobody who looks at Obamacare and looks at Trump care and says, these things are good things. These things are going to do really good things for the American population. And these things were built for the American population. There's no way. You have to ask the question, if you're getting this much money to get elected, is it possible that you're being influenced by the money that you're getting? And is it possible that the Trump care, the Obamacare, all these things have more to do with politics and gamesmanship than actual representing the American population? That's not what comes up on the news. That doesn't come up on the news. Why is that not on the news? Why isn't each newsman who's there screaming at the top of his lungs about, whoa, this looks broken to me. This looks broken to me. They don't do that. They keep the veneer. They're pleasant. They shine. They sparkle. They tell you nice things. They sometimes give you bad news, but ultimately, they're bland. And they're not really giving you any information that actually benefits you. I'm making a point that they lie constantly just by virtue of the way they behave and interact with the information they give the American population. The lens to which they give the American population is a fucking lie. They're lying through their teeth on all of these news stories because, for the most part, they're not giving you the truth. They're not asking the actual questions that need to be asked. This time they went too far. And even by their own rules, they got caught and broken for it. Good job. They fired those guys who made this story up. Don't make shit up. Don't make shit up. You call yourself a news network. Don't make shit up. Donald Trump's laughing at you. Donald Trump should be laughing at you. It is embarrassing that a reality show is laughing at you. The author, Thomas Frank, was among those who resigned, according to a network executive who requested anonymity because the person was now authorized to discuss personnel issues. Also losing their jobs was Eric Lindenblock, an assistant manager editor for CNN's Washington's bureau, Lex Harris, head of the investigations unit. The story was quickly questioned both internally and externally, including by the conservative site Breitbart News. It was determined, Breitbart is, that's brutal. Breitbart is breaking your story. Wow, that's embarrassing. Yeah, that's embarrassing. It was determined that the story was posted without going through expected checks and balances for one such sensitivity, the executive said. The failure to follow proper procedures is what led to the resignations, the CNN executive said. So wait, the failure to follow procedures or putting up a fake story about the president of the United States with some kind of collusion to Russia? Which one is it? Call it what it is. Stop this corporate shit. You guys put up a story that was fake about the president of the United States. You guys have been screaming like Russia at the top of your lungs for the past 6 months, and you have squat to show for it. One of your guys went too far. And you're telling me that I fired these guys, not because they put up a story that was fake about the president of the United States colluding with Russia. No, not that. Because they didn't follow proper procedure. Okay. The retracted story had the Senate Intelligence Committee was looking into the 16th January discussion between Sacramento and Dmitriev, whose Russian direct investment fund guides investments by United States entitlements entities in Russia. Salmarki in the story said he exchanged pleasantries in a restaurant with Dmitriev. The report also said, okay, this is getting to the weeds and this is too far into it. The point is, they put up a story that was fake about the president of the United States and got caught. And the president is laughing at them. The president should be laughing at them. Good job, Breitbart News. Good job, Breitbart. That's amazing. You're not going to ever hear me say that any other context, but good job, Breitbart News. CNN gets caught doing fake news, overt fake news, and gets busted. Good job. Good job. I like it. I like it. If you enjoy the content, feel free to share, subscribe. You can always support the work through Patreon. Thanks, guys.